Okay. Evening, and today our topic is an interesting one. We are asking a very important question, saying, what are the impacts of superstition thinking on society? Uh, this is quite a tricky question, and I think it's tricky because when we look at the word superstitious, not everybody thinks superstition is superstition. Uh, our definition of superstition differs. And as a result, it would be good for us to start the topic by discussing what the superstition is, what do we understand by superstition, so that when we get deeper into, we should cover all the pertinent topic in it. Then superstition thinking does have an impact on our society. We cannot deny that because if you believe things that are not there, then yes, you will not behave in a normal way. Some of the behavior can be negative, some of the behavior can be positive. So, as we discuss these points, let us look at all the sides. I know most of us here are anti superstition, but also we should be people that are well rounded, that don't avoid the truth about the other side. Uh, what are other benefits of being superstitious? I can't believe I'm asking that question because I've got a lot of things that I think about that are negative about being superstitious. So, yes, that is why I say it's a bit tricky when we want to take it in a well rounded fashion. It will need both the sides. So, yes, I open the discussion to the group. We will discuss the definition. Uh, we will also look at why is superstitious thinking so common. Then we'll look at different types of superstition so that, as I say, we should know what we are discussing. We should not omit other important things. Then, lastly, then we will discuss about the harms, but not the harms only, the harms and benefits, if there are any. The floor is open. I will look at people who raise their hands, and I will go according to that sequence as to who raised their hand first. Then the floor is open. We'll start with Muriki. Also, I will ask that after speaking or when you start speaking, you should put down the hand so that other people, I should not be confused who's next.
Okay, thanks, Brother Lam. Okay, for me, what I'll say, a superstition is something you believe to be true, but it's not true, and it can instill fear on someone or make somebody do something. Like maybe tell a kid that if they go out, they'll find giants, so the kid won't go out. So maybe you save the kid from being harmed because he's been told there are giants at night which eat which eat people, so the kid won't go out. So that can help the kid, but others can be harmful. They are fine. Thanks.
Thank you. And I know for another one that uh, I grew up with here. I was surprised when I was an adult and I started to understand things internationally, to learn that the clover thing comes from islet. And yeah, when we find the four-leaf clover, that was a superstition also. And it would make a person be positive and be happy that, hey, I found the four-leaf clover. I wonder what is in store for me. So, others are frightening, others are the opposite. They make a person to be elated and happy. What other definitions of superstition do you think we have not covered? Uh, Dorcas?
I'm still moving around. I will turn on my video shortly once I am settled, or probably in the next contribution. Okay, my definition of superstition. Now, there's the dictionary definition, but there's also my understanding of superstition. Let me start with my understanding, and then I can mention the dictionary definition. All along, I have perceived superstition to be the wrongful attribution of an effect on a certain cause. In other words, it is when people don't understand a cause and effect relationship. So they attribute something, a certain phenomenon, a certain outcome. It could be death, it could be bad luck, it could be an accident, it could be good luck, it could be a job, a promotion, having a child, or losing the child. All these things are mostly pertaining around luck. Luck, either good luck or bad luck. So you attribute them to the wrong thing because you don't understand cause and effect. You might attribute it to God. You might attribute it to generational curses. You might attribute it to witchcraft. You might attribute it to a ghost and stuff like that. And to me, that is a misunderstanding of the cause and effect relationship. But then I checked out the dictionary definition, and the dictionary says that superstition is an extreme and irrational belief in supernatural, in a supernatural cause. So it has to have that element of the supernatural. If it is just, let's say you are a conspiracy theorist, let's say you are assuming that Big Pharma is the one that caused COVID-19, that might not fall in the realm of superstition because it's not a supernatural cause. Yes, it is an irrational belief because it's not evidence-based, but it is not supernatural. Or maybe another example that doesn't fall in the superstitious category would be the way we are so tribal in Kenya, the way you can say that Kikuyus are money-minded. So if you're in a group and money got lost, you attribute it to the Kikuyu in the group. You know, that is irrational thinking, but it's not superstitious because there's no supernatural element. So the supernatural elements come in the form of dreams, curses, spirits, mediums, psychics, etc. We look at those under types. In summary, I'll go with the dictionary definition that a superstition is a widely held but irrational belief in supernatural influences, especially as leading to good luck or bad luck, or a practice based on such a belief. Yeah, that's where I'll end it. Thank you.
Yeah. Funny when you mentioned the generational curse. You know, the issue of generational curse, I just learned about it within the last, decade or so. Before, people were not talking about generational curse, at least where I am. I don't know in Kenya. And I remember at one time I was asking myself, now all of a sudden, why is generational curse so popular? Who came with generational curse? Interesting. I can see, yes, it is an superstitious idea. El Maestro, let's hear from you, my brother.
Okay, thank you. For me, I just wanted to ask a small question. When I was still young, we had this as young as I was growing up. We had this superstitious. I don't know if I could call it belief or just I don't know if it is a belief or just a mindset that I don't know if you if you go through someone's legs, then if someone is standing, then you take your body through their legs, and you will remain short. And does that qualify as a superstitious belief or superstitious thinking? I don't know if you.
Are you making fun of my height or what?
No, not.
uh, very. uh, we, oh, Amanda, are you in a noisy background? Please mute. Thank you. Yeah, it falls squarely there in the superstitious realm. I remember that one we used to avoid. I wonder why I'm short. And also, when two people are coming, uh, if they're Africans, should never walk in between them. Uh, you should find way to go to the side. But I noticed that if you do that to Caucasians, they don't have a problem. So, yeah, minority side. I remember when I was older, then I would just annoy Africans when I see them coming. They're working together, and the attention of another one is on the other side. I just quickly get in between them, and I leave them very unsettled. Okay, David.
Thank you, Bolalang. Yeah, I think this is a very funny. Well, there is the funny side, and the funny side is there are beliefs. I know it is in Kenya. I don't know if it is only among the Kamba or all over, that if you sweep at night, you sweep your house at night, you are sweeping away your wealth, and you're gonna get poor. Oh, thanks, Polelang. And so that is one. Another one with the broom is that if you sweep, when you are sweeping, if you hit somebody's feet, I forget which one, whether they will never grow up or they'll never get married, one of those. And another one is about your palms itching. If your right palm itches, you're going to get money. If it's your left palm, you're going to give money. Then there is the general. Now, I think this one is more universal, or maybe it is only among the Kamba, whistling at night. I remember one of my brothers having a big problem because one of the neighbors caught him whistling as he was bringing the cows home, and it was at night. I mean, anyway, and he brought him, pulling his ear and saying, "Tell your boy to stop whistling." And I don't know what that does. It's supposed to be bad luck. But on the international side, we have heard about mirrors, that you don't break mirrors. I don't know, mirrors are bad luck. I don't know what is the bad luck with with mirrors. And of course, the Irish are very famous with their three-leaf clover, which I never could understand because the nuns would talk about it, but because we were Africans, we just did not know anything about a three-leaf or four-leaf clover. Until then, I started hearing it here in Canada. Then I understood that it was an Irish thing, but it was very funny that the nuns would be holding on to it. But some of these are more Western superstitions, like throwing salt over your shoulder, or that walking under a ladder. But this one of a ladder, trust me, walking under a ladder, there is no superstition about that. You should never walk under a ladder. It's just gravity. If there is something up there on the ladder, somebody on the ladder, and something happens with the ladder, they're coming down on your head. That is not a superstition, just gravity. Thank you. I'll let somebody else go take it from there.
Hey, am I audible here? Oh yes, still audible. Yeah, a lot of what you have mentioned, they apply also far away from Kenya here in South Africa. Uh, the sweeping thing, the whistling thing, uh, they could even get you some hiding. Here in South Africa, you don't whistle in the house. You whistle in the house, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Okay, when we discuss the benefit, uh, Endeavor has touched the issue of working under the ladder. Yeah, you can see that there are benefits on some of the superstitious thinking. But the question is, why was the communication not just straight, and people being told what happens if you do a certain thing? Why was it put in a way that is threatening and avoiding the real issue of what will happen? Okay. Why is it so common to be superstitious? If we know that it's a lie, why do we find so many people doing it? There must be something about humans that makes it to be so popular. Miriki, let's hear from you.
Okay, thanks, Bulala. In fact, I think I need help on this. I never believed that owls. I put in the group one that when you see an owl, someone will die. So now for me, I've seen that twice. I've experienced it twice in my life. I saw once an owl made noise, then somebody died. Then I saw one, then somebody died. So I had no choice but to believe. So at the moment, I believe owls sense death, but people say it's superstition. But because I've seen it twice, I believe owls they're able to sense that somebody is dead. So for me, it's not. I believe it's not a superstition. For me, it's real. Thanks.
My question is, when you see an owl, do you see it alone or you're with a group of people?
Okay, the
Because
first time, yeah, it was my mom was sick, so I heard it at night making noise. For the first time I heard it making noise at night, I ignored it. Then she passed away. Then somebody else, she was my friend. It was in the evening, we were talking. It came on the roof. Then after a few days, she also died. I was like, what? You mean it's true? So now I believe it. I believe it now.
okay, yeah, because people that I know were supposed to be dying left, right, and center. We do have owls in our suburb here, and yeah, we see them quite often. But I don't not far away from where I live. Uh, it's very difficult to find an owl there because people kill them. They don't want to see them. Maybe because they think that they bring bad luck. But where I live, we do see them, and I wonder. I haven't been counting how many people die among my relatives or friends or people that I know, but I cannot say there's a correlation between the number of times I see an owl and the deaths that I see. But I've seen a correlation of between uh, the number of deaths as I grow older. When I was young, it was very few people that I know that are dying. But hey, I'm 60 now. Every time uh, now, every now and then, people are dying. But I know, yeah, people that I know are getting old. You see. Okay, Dorcas, let's hear from you.
Bulalang,
Oh,
just one thing. Just one thing on
uh-huh.
one thing. So, okay, as a skeptic, I believe it's not about omen, but they sense death. They sense death. I don't know how, but it's not bad luck. They're able to sense death. It's not an omen, not a bad luck. They can sense it. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, but it's good because you have put it on the table, and we are we are 8 here in the house. Others are going to speak about it. I wonder how does death smell like, so that an owl can be able to. I smell death somewhere, even before it happens. Or death, is it a creature that goes around like, who's that person who has what do you call that weapon? Grim Reaper. Maybe there is Grim Reaper and Owl can see Grim Reaper. We don't know. Let's hear Dorcas.
Ati there's a grim reaper inside the hole. Where? Now, Morioki, the problem is now when once I start engaging with Morioki, we'll go down the rabbit hole. I wish I don't want this to be a correspondence between you and I, Morioki. I'm just giving my comments. Don't respond, okay? Don't respond. Because I've had this argument with you during the witchcraft discussion. I had this discussion with you, and I explained myself, but it didn't seem to sink in. This is my opinion
Dorcas, your volume is gone.
on that incident, and even as conclusion. Oh dear.
Yeah,
What about now?
your transmission is not
Or
smooth.
should I change my?
No, you are good now.
Uh,
I wonder whether it's for me
okay.
only or is it happening for everybody?
Yeah, she's
I
breaking. For me,
You
she's breaking.
you got lost
Not
there.
clear.
Maybe you can begin again.
see.
Yeah, begin again. Let's hear.
Okay. Okay. Sawa. So I was saying that I don't want to go back and forth with this. And please stop me whenever you lose me. If my volume diminishes, just stop me. Okay?
I'll do this.
So that. Okay. Great. Yeah. So I said I don't want to go back and forth with this because I have discussed it before when we had the witchcraft discussion, and Morioki was unconvinced. But I just have a general problem with how Morioki makes conclusions.
You were coming okay then. Then you said you have a problem with how Moroki jumps into conclusion. No, how he makes conclusions. Then we lost you. No, you are frozen. Yeah, in the meantime, let us go to the next person. I wonder, Dorcas, maybe, oh yes, if Dorcas can come up again, maybe all it needs is for her to start again. Maraki, are you still there?
Yes, I'm there. I'm still there. Yes, I'm there.
Okay. What happened the last time? Dorcas says the last time
Oh,
you never wanted to reason up to an extent where she says no responding back from you. Hi, El Maestro. Let's hear from you.
Okay, so the reasons why these things become true, they become true to some people. Maybe because of coincidence. Some coincidence, you did this and then something happened to you. Then you had, I don't know, someone else also did the same and the same thing happened to you. So now this is just a matter of coincidence, and then all of a sudden it becomes true to some people. So they just start warning, don't do this. If you do this, this will happen. Muruki, for me, I let Dorcas handle your case, because for me, you know me, I am a skeptic. I question everything. Me, if you have no evidence, if you have no concrete evidence, me, I just brush. I just brush it off. Me, I don't take those things for at face value. So those things,
Yeah, but
Muruki, that thing is just a matter of coincidence. It's nothing, and all cannot sense danger. It cannot sense death. That's just a bird, that bird that sings, and then you see, since it sings, you think it can sense danger. Now, no, that is just
yeah,
a bird, nothing more. Yeah.
but El Maestro, whenever you post that pool that you swim in, the long one,
Yes.
my mood changes. I feel good. So I think there's something
Okay.
about that pool.
Okay. I'll be posting it more.
Okay.
Uh,
Uh, Dorcas will come back to you. In the meantime, you were overtaken, and now Amanda is in the first.
No,
Amanda.
Bolela. Bolela, no, not overtaken. Allow me to complete my thought because I'd raised my hand first.
Oh, okay. You know why I was
Yes.
going towards Amanda is because she has not spoken at all, and I've noticed
Oh,
that there's a time that she was out, and I don't want her to go out without saying something.
oh, okay. If it's that,
Amanda, is your connection stable?
I think so. I'm not sure. It keeps going off and on. I don't know what's happening, but let's hope it is.
Oh, okay. Then, okay, Dorcas, let's hear from you.
did you say my name? Should I go?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Sawa. So I was responding to Morioki, and I was saying that I have a problem with how you draw conclusions on issues. It's not just about superstition, but even about music. You've always been demonizing music on the group, and you use the same logical thinking that you have used in this scenario, and that is confirmation bias. So you decide on something, you have a narrative in your head about something. So, for instance, with that issue of music, your narrative is music is harmful. That's the narrative you have. And then you look, you cherry pick. Amanda, please mute. We are getting feedback on your end.
Sorry.
So, Morioki, you cherry pick evidence to advance your narrative. When a musician dies from a drug habit, you're like, oh, look, music is bad. Look at R. Kelly, look at P. Diddy. But then we tell you that if you studied all the cases of musicians who have died, you will find that it is only a minority who have died from drug-related or addiction-related problems. So those few examples that you use are anecdotal. They are just a small fraction of the entire industry. Same case to the all and its relation to death. You had a narrative in your head that alls are a sign of death. They can
No,
sense death.
no,
That
no,
allow me,
no.
Morioki,
I didn't believe
Morioki.
it. I didn't believe
It's okay. Please allow me to finish. I don't want to go back and forth on this. So I had, but then I listened to you very carefully as you are narrating right now. So no need to clarify. You had a narrative in your head, whether you had it before or after someone died. So even if you had it after someone died, you were like, yeah, the first time I've had an all is now, and my mother passed on. And then the second time, the second time you had the all, they passed on 2 days later. Those are just two cases. And you are jumping to the conclusion that alls cause death, or alls can sense death. Those are just two cases. There are many cases of people who die and no alls hoot. And there are also cases of alls that hoot and people don't die. It was just a coincidence that in your case, those two people died in quick succession after you had an all hooting. But it is not conclusive. The only time we can conclude that perhaps alls can sense death, they are a grim reaper, is if we collected sufficient evidence and found that it's overwhelming, that the large percentage of deaths can be smelt by alls. But those are just two cases. You probably know dozens of people who have died and there were no alls that hooted. So this is confirmation bias. It is a flaw in your thinking. It is irrational. Now, I don't wish to go back and forth on this. If you want to respond to me after you've raised your hand during your turn. Now, I needed to talk about why we have superstitious thinking. And I think one of the reasons why it's common is because it's an offshoot of religion. Religion tends to dampen our critical thinking skills and makes us attribute regular occurrences or irregular. Actually, they like to pick irregular incidences like death or like illness or something very drastic, like say someone has miscarriages. If you have 3 miscarriages in a row, people start to say, oh, that woman is cursed, or that woman has been bewitched. This superstitious thinking. So it comes from religion. Religion is the one that plants that seed. And this is why I'm telling you guys that sometimes when you leave religion and become an atheist, that does not absolve you from all of the folly that exists in society. It's not enough to be an atheist. Morioki and his erroneous thinking on music and on all the other things he believes is proof that being an atheist is not synonymous with being a critical thinker. You must work to become a critical thinker. So there's that aspect. A second one is, I think, the need to control our surroundings. We live in a world where things happen to us, and we don't have control over them. An accident can occur to you when you leave the house. You don't know. You don't know if it can happen or not. You don't know whether you will get that job that you did an interview for. You don't know. You need luck. So people try to use superstition as a way of maybe harnessing luck to make luck work in their favor. In fact, some witch doctors, when you read here in Kenya, Bolelang, we have these witch doctors who put advertisements on electricity poles. They put the advertisement and they put bullet points of the problems they address. One of the problems they say is bad luck. Yeah. And then there's another one, cooking a bomber, which is to protect your homestead from other women who might have an affair with your husband. So they help you with that. You see, it's a need for
I think
control.
our witch doctors usually hold meetings because they behave the same. We've got a lot of that also.
Yes, there you go. There you go. So I think it's just
Doctor, on that
yes.
thing about these switch doctors who put poles on, who put these things on the electric poles, I don't know if it is me or it's you guys who have also noticed the fonts are always the same in those posters. It's like it is printed by the same person, whether it is in here in Thika Road, whether it is in Karen, like it's always the same fonts. Like it makes me think that it is printed by the same person. But those names are different in different places there. But the fonts are the
I've
same.
never
So
I've never taken a look. They are the
I've
same.
noticed. Mm.
Oh my. It's funny. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a scheme by one person. So there's that one, and then I'll add just two more really quickly. I think social media has played a role in this day and age. Anybody can claim to be an expert in anything. I can claim to be an expert in blessings and curses. Yeah, and then I can start a YouTube, a social media, a TikTok account, and people follow me and people believe what I'm telling them. So I think that's another one. And then I think the last one is the need for money. Some of these people are scammers. The people who peddle astrology, the ones who are psychic mediums, or our witch doctors. These people, or those ones who can see the future, seers. These people are just scammers. They just want to make money. And that is why it's becoming common. The economy is bad. Our presidents are not doing what they're supposed to. Our governments are sleeping on their job. So people are looking for all manner of means to make money. I think those are the reasons, according to me, of why superstitious thinking is so common. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorcas. And yeah, and I hope also you settle your issue with Muruyuki. You are not alone. I've had sessions with Muruyuki also, and yeah, he he's passionate about it. I know he's going to come back again. Amanda, it's your opportunity now.
Oh, okay, thank you. I think people believe in those things specifically for various reasons. The first reason I think people believe in those is things like astrology, is that lately I've noticed that this life we're living is just the same. I've noticed that this life we are living is just the same. Like the things that somebody is going through in Kenya, I can assure you, somebody somewhere in the US or Canada or UK is going through the same shit. So something like inaitwaje, what's the name? Something like astrology. These people usually get people's information. They get people's information. There's a way they can tell, they can make you like just provide information about yourself, Nini, like what happened. There's a way for different people. I've been on those astrology sites and I think I've noticed it. So when they just like, they get that information about that one person, because the life we're living is the same. The life we are like, this person is experiencing, there's somebody else experiencing the same, having the same experience somewhere else. They make this assumption, and then it happens like somebody also, like maybe you who are makeup, you put your information there. It just happens like you also happen to experience the same. Then you start believing in astrology. I think I was talking about this with my friend, and we just came to conclusion that it's because the life we're living is the same, and these people study people's lives, like they sit down and study because they are making money. They want to make money, and they do it very well. And they get information from many people. Yeah, I think that's the reason. I wish my friend was here. She could have explained it really well, more than I have. But the reason that those things work is because we're living the same life, like the same experiences you've gone through. You can be sure out of 7 billion people in this world, someone also has gone through the same experience. If you are sick of cancer or something, someone has gone through experience, is also sick of cancer somewhere, the same experience. So I think our lives is really intertwined. So that's one. Another thing, there's something called the law of belief. Okay, let me know if you lose me, because I think it's my data or something. I don't know.
No,
So
we can hear you 100%.
okay.
When I was talking about losing you, it's where we see your picture going out of the
Oh,
audience.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Then something else I've noticed, I don't know, I sent a documentary about religion on the group. I don't know if it was this one or the other one. I don't know
So
if
that way
anybody
on the video.
teach. Hello.
Yes, we can still hear you.
Oh, okay, okay. So there's this documentary I sent about religion and about how pastors use, like they use mind games to make people think that they are miraculous, so they do this that. I don't know if anybody watched it, but I'll resend it again. It's called This Is Evil from somebody. I'll send the documentary. So what that person was simply saying is, religion, most of these people go to school, by the way. They go to school and they study psychology. You think theology at your, they go to study theology. They study psychology. What makes people, like what moves masses in like big masses and all that. So what this person was saying, like many books have studied that. Many books have studied what moves masses, and they've come.
You are frozen, Amanda. You are frozen. Yeah, but in the meantime, uh, I must say what you mentioned about astrology. Uh, Even though I've been a skeptic from long time ago, uh, I was surprised when I read astrology things and I would hear as if they are talking about my experiences. And all it took was for me to focus on a different month. I said, no, from now onwards, I'm going to check another star, not my star. Fun enough, when I read the star, I found also that one. It's focusing on my life also. So if anybody thinks that those predictions of astrology are meaningful, you must look at the type of language that they use. They use very generic language that applies to everybody. So you can pick up anyone. Let's say you were born in March, say, let me just focus on August. You'll discover something very interesting. Miruki.
Okay, thanks, Bulola. You see, Dorcas is a skeptic and an atheist. So Dorcas, just hear this: Britain, Ireland, Rome, and France believe that all.
Oh, sorry, Amanda. We have moved to another speaker. We'll come back to you.
Okay, thanks, Bulola. So our Dorcas is a skeptic to answer this: Britain, Ireland, France, and Rome believe the same thing about owls. Dorcas, answer that. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
That's for
You're on
Dorcas.
the owl.
Yeah,
but
Britain.
her chance will come. And even in South Africa, they have funny beliefs about owls. And I told you that there was a time that, oh no, it was not on this meeting. There's a time that somebody discovered that when you bring in owls, then the rats, the population of the rats go down, and they introduce owls, and people kill the owls, and they remained with the rats. You see, so yeah,
That's for
beliefs.
Dorcas to hear. Dorcas plus South Africa also. Plus South Africa also. Even your country.
Bolelang, can I just answer him quickly? Just very quickly. Less than 30 seconds. Morioki, again, that's a bad argument. I keep telling
all those
you.
Countries, all those countries.
Morioki, how many countries believe in a God? Almost all countries believe in a God. That doesn't make it true. Bad argument.
This is different.
It's an argument
this is
from
different.
How?
Owls.
Do they have evidence? Do they have evidence?
Have you seen God?
Listen.
Have you seen owls?
No.
Have you seen God? Have you seen God?
No. Morioki, you need to learn to understand analogies. I have not seen God, but I have also not seen the relationship between owls and sensing death. There is minimal evidence on it. You have, but it's anecdotal. Those are two examples. Those are only two examples, yet there are so many deaths that have occurred where owls didn't hoot. So, but don't lose the argument, Morioki. It's like you're so determined to win, you won't even listen to what someone is telling you. Citing other people who believe irrational thoughts is not a good way to advance your argument. Even if the whole world believed that the earth was flat, that doesn't make it true. Even if the whole world believed it's different, it's still an irrational belief. It's still an irrational belief. Even if owls exist, it's the correlation between owls and sensing death that I contest. And I'm telling you that the evidence is not there. You just because people believe something.
All those countries.
You're not listening, but okay. I've told you, even if the whole world believed the earth was flat, if the evidence is to the contrary, it won't make it true. So even if Britain or Ireland believed that.
What are you responding to? What point did Morioki make that you are responding to? I'm a bit lost.
Morioki is saying that owls can sense death, and he gave the example of two relatives who died soon after hearing owls hoot. So he believes that owls have that supernatural ability of sensing death. And I was telling him that is anecdotal evidence. Those are just two examples. There have been many people who've died and no owls hooted, or there have been many owls that have hooted and no people died. That's anecdotal evidence. It is not good evidence. And I'm telling him, yes, listen, Morioki, you're not listening. Calm down,
Morioki
Dorcas.
wants to get under your skin, Dorcas.
Yes, and he's succeeding. He's succeeding. Morioki, I'm telling you, you can't argue from popularity. That's a fallacious argument. It's called an argument ad populum, where you consider the number of people that believe an irrational idea and say, look at all those people. Are they wrong? All the people, at some point, people believed that the earth was flat. Yeah, but they were wrong. They went against evidence. At some point, people believed that the earth revolved around the sun. People in Britain, people in Ireland, but it was not a rational thought. So that's not a good argument to advance your idea. Let me end it there, Morioki. No amount of repeating it will make it true.
Yes, another very popular superstitious activity that is done all over the world, praying. It's very popular.
Not done.
Oh yeah, Amanda lost connection while she was busy speaking, and were you done, Amanda, or were you still had? Oh, okay. Complete your deliverance.
Yeah. So I was saying that
Boris is laughing.
I have sent that documentary again on the main group SAS-K. Please guys, watch it. Watch it to completion. I beg. So
is it about astrology?
No, it's about how religious people use a lot of things to scam people. And one of them, as that person is explaining, you'll realize that how these things work. They actually work, by the way. Things like if you're in how he explains it is if you're in church and everyone believes in a certain, like their mind is, how do I put it? What's the word? Oh my God, English is not my mother tongue.
Yeah, all of us, it's strange to us.
But if everyone in a set of people believes the same thing and people are praying, they are
public psychology.
God, others are doing what, like towards one common goal, there's a likelihood one would feel like things like miracles, something like a miracle has happened, like something might happen, but it's usually just a feeling, because it happened in somebody like who is this famous preacher, Benny Hinn. It happened in Benny Hinn's preachings. It happened in some other dude who is a very famous preacher. Yeah. But it's just because
that one is a charlatan.
Yes.
That Benny Hinn.
Hey, Benny Hinn. And it's just because people are in one setting. Very many people believe in that one thing, and they are waiting for that one miracle. And it feels like it happens, but it doesn't happen, because there's this person who at Ali's mama, all of a sudden he was, I don't know, he was sick or she was sick or something. Then she actually said she was healed. She was feeling good. Then after coming out of that gathering and whatever, they visited her and she was ill again. and you ask this person, do you still believe Benny Hinn can perform miracles? And this person says, in their right mind, that Benny Hinn can perform miracles. No, it's not like Benny Hinn can perform miracles. It's just that setting. You have everyone believing in that one thing, and they are like praising and worshiping and all that. Then that's how it happens. He explains it better than I do. So please, please, please watch that documentary and see how these people like scam people.
Oh yeah.
Coming to what he is saying, I believe that is the same thing that happens. Like if you believe something, if okay, not let me just not answer what Miruki was saying at when you see an odd or something. Let me not use that example per se, but if you believe something is gonna happen, most likely you'll act according to, like, you'll start acting, you'll start putting in effort to make, you won't know, it's unconscious. This thing has been covered in so many books, it has been covered in psychology books. Like, that thing is just unconscious. It happens that you act towards making that thing happen, though you don't know that you're doing it. So when it does happen, you say, oh, it was a miracle. Oh, you God, you did what? Oh, you did. I love most things, but I realized that people, when they get that job, they say, oh, God blessed me with the job. When you don't like think you deserve it, which is very sad, by the way, especially for Africans. You don't think like you deserve that job, you deserve that positive outcome. Like, I usually don't understand. I think it messes with their mindsets in a way, because yeah, you worked towards it, you deserved it, like you put in the effort, you did what, but it's usually like, it's not conscious. When they're putting in the effort, it's not conscious. Like, they're not conscious they're putting in the effort. They just think they are praying, they are doing what, but in real sense, you're putting in the effort. You're sending your CVs, you're sending what you have qualifications. Like, you can't say that you're not worth it. You can't say that, because you got the qualifications. So I think it also has to do with Africans in a way, and their what is it called, like, they're not confident of their color in their skin. I think that's one. And coming to what Miracle was saying, I think now, if you believe in something so long, if you just believe, you keep it in your mind. Like, if I say, I've seen it working on myself, if I tell myself I'll wake up at 3 tomorrow before I sleep, just before I sleep, I tell myself I'm going to wake up at 3 tomorrow. Most likely I'll either wake up at 3, or I'll wake up just before 3. So I think it's mindset, and I think it's something to do with the mind, but I've not read so many psychology books to explain really well, but I think they're explained. So if somebody reads,
Yeah, because when you are sleeping, your brain is still working.
yeah,
It's easy also for that to happen to me. If I want to wake up early, I can do it even without using an alarm. Can time
yeah.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's mindset. I think it's something to do with the mindset. I've not read enough psychological books, because when Jani was talking about it in the video, I told myself I'm going to read about it and understand more, so that when it comes up, I can argue about it. But I did not. So, but it's something to do with the mindset. It's not like something will happen or something happens. But if you tell yourself enough times that it's gonna happen, it will happen. Yeah, so it's not like it's something just to do with your mindset, and they are covered.
Or
And pastors and religious leaders know this, because they learn about psychology and they use it, like they take advantage of it, and people don't know. So actually, they really do take advantage of it, because they learn about it and people don't know.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I think,
In fact, you got cut when I was answering the issue of astrology, because you mentioned that astrology, they take issues that happen to a lot of people, and you
yeah,
were talking about your particular star. Then I was responding. I say, do an experiment. Take a separate star that is not yours, and
ah,
read on it, every week and see whether it doesn't apply to you. All this does apply to you because they
Yeah.
take generic thing. And yes, you mentioned the issue of uh, the way that we behave as humans and people knowing how we behave and capitalizing on that.
Yeah.
Okay, let us move to Maurice. Are you there, Maurice?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
very
yes.
much. Am I good? Am I audible?
Loud and clear.
Yeah. Is the camera looking handsome or I'm looking average? Huh?
You are amazing. You are amazing.
It's the
Yeah,
Lord.
but
It's not glory to the Lord.
this is what you think, not what other people think.
I belong to the Lord, so I only care what the Lord thinks. Amanda, before you go, I have two questions. Actually, my response is to your two questions. You've said 2 points that I don't want to question you, but I want to really know whether you actually believe. So you've said something about Ben Hines, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, before that, okay, I'll respond to Morioki later because, oh boy, Morioki I have a lot of content for Morioki. If I start now with Morioki, we will end up in the morning with the owl and the animals. But Amanda, when you look at Benny Hinn's, there's something called believing and knowing. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So when people go to Ben Hinn's Larry, in your own opinion, huh? In your own honest opinion, when someone go to Ben Hinn's Larry, I'm a Kikuyu, Larry and Larry are the same thing. So when someone go to their Larry and there's putting on hand and whatever, and there's healing. So there could be two possibilities here that you're confusing. The person could be hired and they are paid actor. They've been told, like, you remember there is Bolelang Noel, there's a guy keep shelling, the pastor from Zimbabwe who resurrected a guy from coffin. You remember that guy in South Africa?
Like let me tell you, they do hire people. They do hire
Wait,
people.
wait.
This one I don't like.
Amanda, a minute. Let me pose my question. I'm a slow talker. So that's the question I'm asking. Like, you see now, the guy in South Africa, there's no way that guy believed he's dead. The guy knew he's there to act and get paid. That is one scenario. The other scenario is there are people, as you have said, I think the word you are looking for is mob psychology or
Somebody has said it. They have
mob psychology, like where we're in a crowd and we actually see people, like let's say like there's the pastor Ben Hinn. Let me use the same pastor. Ben Hinn does like whoa, and people fall because of the Holy Spirit. And I'm there. I don't actually feel the falling, but as a believing Christian, I'm like, no, the Holy Spirit cannot live alone. Then I just fall with them. I'm like going around with the crowd. So partially, I believe these miracles are real. I just can't substantiate it. Like people who actually go to Prophet Owur or Prophet or this prophet, they actually believe it. They cannot explain it to detail one by one. You get my point? But they actually believe it. The followers of this prophet actually believe these miracles happen. Those are different from these actors who know that this is a game. So my question is, do you think the people who get healed because of this, not mob psychology, even you are looking for this word,
it's the halo
where
effect.
you get healed because other people are getting healed, like you see people getting healed and you're like, oh, you get well because everybody's getting well. So do you think it's because of do you think everybody in Ben Hinn is acting and thinking, oh, this is a joke, but let's go and play along? Or do you think most of them are convinced this is the true thing and they're just misguided?
Somebody has said it's the halo effect, and I think I'm going to work on, to like research on it more, because that's exactly what Johnny mentions in the documentary. It's called the halo effect. Like, if you are in a group, and pastors know this because they learn about it in it's called theology classes or whatever. So it happens that if you are in a group and these people are believing in one thing, there's a likelihood that that thing will happen. Of course, they send, like, they start with those actors. Most not they start with, like, they have, of course, they start with them so that to get people to believe, then they maintain the actors. Others, like, there's this preacher who I was just watching the documentary the other day. They get people's prayers, like somebody writes their prayers, oh, you write watch, put it there. Then somebody comes, and it's a very funny documentary because somebody just discovered it, and that person was a magician, and he studied this preacher. He studied him, and he said, no, there's no way that this person performs miracles. And he went with his team, and he actually found, like, what that pastor does. He has an earpiece. He communicates to the wife. The wife usually comes during the service, takes people's prayers, the ones they write down, then he communicates with the pastor with an earpiece. So it's funny. He communicates with the pastor on an earpiece and tells them, there's another one called Suji who he has this problem. Then the pastor says it, like he says it during on live, and then people are like, how did he know my name? Like, what? Now people start believing in him. People started believing in his miracles. Okay, back to your question. It's called the halo effect. Yes, they are actors, but there is this one person who, like, I don't know if she was sick or she was alikuwa kiwete, like she couldn't walk or something. Then she walked, like she really walked, and she was really, really, like, she was sick for real. But after that halo effect, people went to visit her, and they found that she went back to, in fact, she died. No, it was their son. Their son died. And when they asked these two parents, do you still believe that Benny Hinn can perform miracles? These two parents are still saying Benny Hinn can perform miracles. So it's called the halo effect. He explains it very well. I've sent the link on the group, so you can check it and watch the documentary and learn more about it. It's called the halo effect. So yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope I have a question.
Yeah, people in a group behave differently. And when you go home and you become sober from the group effect, then that
Yeah,
miracle
exactly.
disappears.
Come back to being sick again, because that child died, and they asked the parents, "Do you still believe Benny Hinn can perform miracles?" And the parents were like, "Yeah, he can perform miracles." Even after all the evidence told the parents that this is just the halo effect, it happened. It's not like when Benny Hinn can perform miracles. The parents still believe that Benny Hinn can perform miracles. Imagine. So it's just
It's
these people are just
actually very interesting because I'll take less than 30 seconds. I don't know, Buralem, if you follow Prophet Owol, the one with beards that goes along
dying.
then it is. Prophet Owol,
How do you write the name?
Prophet
Yes.
Owol is the most famous prophet in Kenya.
Maybe when I see his picture. His
Oh,
beard
that,
is what? Is it white?
No, he's
no,
black, but he's very international. In South America,
No, I
he
mean.
has a.
Oh, okay. I will
He's
check
very,
him.
So one of the cases that is very famous, not very infamous with them, but very famous with us, is where he took a kid who was 13-year-old, Mary Wajiko from Murang'a, who had leukemia, and convinced the parent to stop the medication for this kid.
they
Hello?
stopped.
Yes, we can hear you.
They not only stopped, the kid died. it's one of the cases we were supposed to pursue legally as an association, because it's crazy. At that point, someone should be accused of murder. Because I understand, I get it when you tell people, no, I can heal you for money, and they give you money. But I don't understand it when you stop people from taking medication, and you're probably not going to profiteer directly, maybe in the long run, but someone dies. At that point, I think I draw a very big line. So
that's a criminal offense, but these people are treated with velvet gloves
yeah.
all over
Finally,
the world.
Finally, I want you to ask just Morioki. Ask Morioki for me what grudge he has with animals, because I love owls. I love owls.
Mm-hmm.
The more they visit.
You know what's the problem with the owl? It's the way that it turns its head all the way. I think that freaks people.
I think that's not a problem. I think that's what is interesting with the owl.
Now, with me, it's interesting, but I'm also African, and I know our people don't like it. And also that,
but that's okay.
They can't deal with that.
I also used to have the same. I also used to have the same kind of feeling growing up. But then these are some of the things you shed off as you grow up.
Oh, Amanda, I think there's interference in your line. Is it? Let me check. Wait, let us not drag it that long. Deva also has raised a hand for too long. Maybe he's tired of stretching the hand.
30 seconds, I'm done with Morioki. It will be very easy. And so we're not doing any more discussion. Morioki?
Yes, thank you, Bolalang. The thing is, I was just going to say just something about about owls. The thing is that the person that might come with the owl just because the owl hoots that way or turns its neck 180 or maybe almost 360, it is because they did not know a lot of other birds that do that, and a lot of other animals that are really weird, others in the sea that are even more weird than owls. So I think that could be as a result of limited knowledge of why that animal looks weird, therefore there's something wrong with it. But anyway, I will not go with the owls because I don't believe that. But I will go with the why.
Just to Morioki's defense, it doesn't make sense to the O that you associated with the dead. But one thing that has surprised is that the culture of O and death even goes all the way to South Africa with Akina Bolelang. I actually thought it's only Kikuyu in it. Thank you. Goes all the way, like so many cultures.
Britain,
South Africa.
France, Rome.
Morioki, it's not true. It's not true. I'm just exploring a possibility. Don't get excited. So, what will be explanation for you, David? Like, how come it transcends not just 2-3 communities, Kikuyu, Kamba? It goes all the way to South Africa. It goes all the way to West Africa. What would be probable explanation? Obviously, Morioki is wrong. That's not debatable. You're just looking for a solution.
Ignorance is not just local. Some ignorant things gain popularity all over the place. Because, for instance, okay, David.
Thanks, Bolelang. I think that the fact that owls are equally, ostracized all over, it's just the same reason why we thought, or the people that came up with the idea, not one person comes with the idea and then it spreads that, the earth, the sun goes around the earth. And then they spread that idea. And then it was accepted because nobody came up with another explanation. And we were happy to get a hold of that and agree with it. But was it true? Was it right? No, it was still wrong, and it is still wrong today. Therefore, I will
This is
leave the
great,
owl
Doctor.
right there.
This
I'll
is great.
leave the owl right there. And I will go to why people are superstitious, why people hold on to superstition. And it is because we like to feel that we are in control of our lives, our situations. And if a superstition can tell me when somebody's about to die, well, that is very good because nobody really knows when somebody's, if Howl can tell me, oh, somebody's going to die in this village, then that is a little bit of control on our life because we don't have a lot of control in our lives. And let me tell you about control. If you are drowning in a river and the river is flowing and you see a blade of grass flowing, but guess what? You are going to grab on it. So it doesn't matter if it is an owl or anything that could give you a modicum of control on your life or situation, then you are going to grab on it. And the more dire your situation is, and the more dire your situation is in need of control, the more likely you are going to believe in your star. You believe that you are Sagittarius or you are Gemini. And then you will read that star and tend to believe in it, believe in these numbers or whatever these things are. You believe in it because it gives you a little bit of control. But let me tell you the other side of that control. That is, you have also lost control, whether you know it or not. If you cede your control to these numbers or to the message from your star, you've lost control of your life because you cannot say that, nah, I'm not going to believe in that. I'm going to go out there and cut out that thing and dig a shamba, dig a farm over there and plant potatoes. You are the fact that you have ceded your control to superstition means you have lost control. You can't go out there and say, no, if my boss doesn't like me, it is not because, somebody, I don't know, some generational thing. No, it is because that I've made a few mistakes. And I think I need to go to talk to my boss and correct this issue and tell him that, in the future, mister, I need help like this, like this, like this, so that I can perform better. So that is why I'm saying that if it is a two-edged sword, we have to decide on which side of superstition we are going to be on. The other reason that humans take these superstitions is, and why it is like it is the same all over. Anybody can buy it. In China, oh God, in China even they are more superstitious. In China, in South America, in North America, in Africa, it is because the human situation, oh boy, there's an equalizer. If there is an equalizer in the world, in life, it is a human situation. You have got this, you don't have it, you still have the same emotions, the same needs, the same problems, the same dissatisfaction with everything. Therefore, it is very easy for the situation in China to be imagined and be fulfilled by the same, I'm going to call it nonsense, excuse me, by the same imagination of a person that is doing the same thing in Nairobi and having his phone numbers all over Nairobi. And trust me, he can fulfill the needs of somebody in China because they know the emotions and the needs. They are just going by the emotions and the needs of a human being, which are just too much the same. I don't even know how our needs are all the same as humans. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ndeve. Yes, we operate more or less the same endeavor. The only thing that makes us to differ is the environment that we have been brought up in. Meaning that if I can be taken and be planted exactly where El Maestro grew up under the same conditions, I would be the same as El Maestro. I would be crazy about football and whatever. Uh, I just missed that environment that shaped him that way. So we are the same with little changes then there because of the environment of where we were brought up. Morris, let's hear from you.
So my query is more, let's the same what I asked Amanda to Dave. He says, people believe, people learn. So whatever you imply that this is the cause of this superstition, huh? Whatever you imply, do you think is deliberate? Do you think people consciously to believe that, oh, this thing is a lie? But let's even let me take away the burden from the believers. The people who lead this, the people who perpetuate these superstitions, like the pastors, the imam, the traditional healers, the benhins. Do you think they are like, I am going to preach this gospel that I believe because, oh, the Lord will bless me? Or they are like, fuck it, I'm broke, I need some money. Gotta lie to some people. Which one of the attitude is obviously
Money.
Hmm?
It's I'm broke, I need some money. These people go to learn that how to use that to mind. Sorry for cussing, to mind fuck people specifically. So they want money and they go to learn how to do it, and it works.
And Morris,
But do you think when this like
I say just to support Amanda's point, I know of a number of people who did not complete their theology studies. They just dropped and said, "No, this is not what I signed up for." I was taught there about people more than about God.
yeah,
Maurice, your question is, do I believe that the people that created a superstition, because I think it originated with one person, that the owl is like this, or even a religion, because it is the same thing, or religion. Was there a genuine, or was there a good, was it initially created to benefit the society? Is that what you are saying?
No, my question is very simple. Do you think, not what you believe, do you think it's a deliberate mistake or a genuine mistake? Do you think these people actually believe in the religion and they are preaching this prosperity gospel? And when they are praying and putting hands on you and manifesting $10 million on you, do you think they actually mean it?
Today, Maurice, let's not even go there. Today, all hands are off. All bets are off. You know what it is about. But I think before, let me just say, before I went, although I was born a Catholic, I went to a school run by the Afghan brother, no, AIC, the Baptists, and we had devotion and all these every Thursday, the whole school. But the pastor was actually quite genuine, and they lived, from what I could see, he never preached that the people would be rich or anything. He just preached. They just preached. And anytime I went to those churches, even the Catholics everywhere, they just preached, you go to heaven by avoiding sin. This gospel is very new, Maurice. It's very new. So you see that it has got intentions and it is being preached about among people who need that gospel. They don't need the repentance of sin. They need a gospel of prosperity because they need prosperity. So it is deliberate.
Which gospel is new? What do you mean by this gospel is new?
The one of prosperity.
The healing and prosperity
Yeah,
and the others.
it's pretty. The prosperity one is pretty new. The miracles, I think it has always been there, but not as emphatic as now.
Because when you go into an industry, you do some research what the customers are looking for.
It's called market research. Huh?
Yes. Don't waste energy.
Yeah.
Target your market.
You don't waste your time on atheists where there are some genuine Christian around.
Okay, so Boris, are you answered? And I think also it's a mixture of that. There are few who are really not aware.
But okay, my feeling is a bit. I think most people, and actually the last point that David made actually makes a lot of sense because he's saying is a mixture of both. Like he's saying he's implying that prosperity gospel is a very recent phenomenon, which implies that prior was sort of a genuine gospel. I agree with that because I look at people like my mom and me when I was going to church. Okay, there was, how do I put it? There was a bit of humility. Yeah, people want tithe, but they were not as bold as they are now. You know, nowadays everything has evolved from gospel to robbery. You know, even those days, thieves used to have courtesy. They're like, oh, they come with a gun and they're like, oh, no, if you don't give me money, I'll not give you money. And then they're like, okay, if you don't have money, it's okay, we'll come tomorrow. Nowadays, no, if you don't do anything, they shoot you. And that is how much they have evolved because they know anytime they could be caught. Same case with gospel. It has evolved in a situation where if I start a church today, I want to recover my money the next 2 years because anytime my followers might realize, oh, this has come. It's like a Ponzi scheme. They run like a Ponzi scheme. The faster you run the Ponzi scheme, the more money you get. Before people realize the Ponzi scheme and start asking for their money. So yeah, it was different then. I look at people like my mom and her friends and their friends. They actually believe these things. They actually. There was a time I was having discussion with Dorcas and other members, and I told them, I'm an atheist. I want most of Kenya people to be atheists. But I think the worst thing that will ever happen to me is to have my mom as an atheist. Because I don't know how I'd handle it. It seems, religion seems to provide her, she's genuinely believe in it. It gives her some sort of comfort and solace that I don't take away from her. And I think that is and if this is one person, now you can imagine someone who has a manipulative mind, who is now a prosperity gospel, who is able to say, and that is the kind of mind that they are able to leave alone even the heaven, the financial prosperity. Test the Lord. Remember, they know the message, test the Lord. Give the Lord 1,000. Test the Lord with 1,000 and see what he can do. He'll give you 10,000. The Bible says to give you tenfold. Test the Lord. And then if you give 1,000, then he doesn't return. It's like, oh, your faith. What's wrong with your faith? Then test the Lord with 10,000. Test the Lord with 10,000. See what he can do. I think this is my conclusion. I think most people genuinely actually believe it. The followers, not the perpetrators. And even to some extent, some of the perpetrators, they are genuine They're not big as Prophet Wall, the prophet, the big pastors, Ben Hines, the one in South Africa. They're not that level. But I think his deputies and his deputies actually believe they're on a good cause to resurrect people. I'm sure there are people in that church that guy resurrect people that actually believe, and they're not just ordinary members, but they are in between the ordinary members and the pastor. They serve the pastor. I'm sure there's one or two people actually believe that pastor actually is that person. And that
Yeah.
is the problem we have to deal with. Yeah.
I
In
say
fact,
something.
we are dealing with superstitions here. And
The,
this helps us to see that even in the church, there's a lot of superstition. And
it's
when
the
you talk
belief.
about genuine, they genuinely believe it's talking to superstition. Okay, Amanda, you were
Yeah,
saying
when
something?
there's something I wanted to say when he was speaking. They said that there's this one thing I just heard from somebody called Joel Austin. That man is rich because of the Bible and church and all that. And he said boldly, oh my God, that he doesn't even have shame. You can speak to God directly if you're willing to pay the price. And people clapped. People in that church clapped. As you can speak to God
Joel
directly.
Austin is blessed. Joel Austin is blessed. Blessed.
But he said, Ati, if you can speak to God directly. If that documentary I sent there, Aki, please listen to it. Oh, Ati, you can speak to God directly if you're willing to pay the price. So these other people, those children suffering in Congo, those people who are just being killed, they don't need God. They don't need to speak to this God directly. So I have to pay a price. And you know what that price is? Fasting, praying, and giving tithes. Giving tithes in that church. And you can't skip that giving tithes part. It's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
Alafu pia, I think also enablers of these superstitious beliefs and all that, because most people, like, if you like that, just what you said, that they genuinely believe that that thing can happen, then we are enablers. Because if one person believes something that can happen and he argues to another person, many people will start believing that thing. So I think also these superstitions just has enablers in the society.
But one
Yeah,
question, Olelang, am I the only one when I was leaving faith? I said fuck off to all this prosperity gospel and all this nonsense. And first of all, I said I'm not going to church anymore. So I'll be watching. I'll be watching. I said I'll be watching. Online TV. But then it was family TV. And then the pastor that I was listening was Billy Graham and Joel Austin. And I was like, me, I'm not an atheist. I'm not evil like atheists, but at least I'm also not like a staunch follower like my mom. I'm not going to church every day. So I thought, my point is, Billy Graham and Joel Austin were a big part of me my deconversion. Like they made me, first of all, stop this nonsense of like I have to be at church by 8 and leave by 1. I used to apologize in the evening alone if I leave church at 12 that because I knew our church was supposed to end at 1. I had to pray
Okay,
and ask the Lord.
excuse me, guys. I think we are veering off track. I think we have gone to other things when we were discussing superstition. And please, let's raise our hands before making contributions, because there's somebody else whose hand is raised, and we are jumping the queue. Bolelang, you seem to be frozen. Are you back? You're back? Okay. Hi.
No, I'm not frozen. I was listening to Maurice. What I saw when I mentioned here, it's when we go down to those types of superstition. which is the next point. It's talking about type of superstitions. Is that Christianity itself is a superstition? We discuss astrology. Have we included everything that fall under superstition? What are things that we call superstition? Let us discuss those. Mureke, you are next.
Yes, Brother, I don't know you guys, this black cat thing, this thing about black cat, like if a black cat, if you're going somewhere, then a black cat passes in front of you, it means bad luck. But I remember a country, I had a black cat and nothing happened. So I don't know you guys, the black cat thing, that black cat have bad luck or they're bad omen. But that I think I've debunked because people keep black cats and there's no big deal. So I think like that one, it's easy to debunk. Then
Yeah, I love black cats. The shine on their skin is more visible than the other colors of cats. If you feed them nicely, black cats look beautiful. And
but people fear them. People fear them because they are black. The devil.
Morioki, did your cat ever cross the road?
No, but not that people
Then
have a
it's
thing
not
of black
it's
cat.
not a tested black cat. We have not tested it yet. We don't know.
Okay, Maurice, Maurice, have you ever had that, Maurice? Any about black cats? Have you ever had that, Maurice? Any about black cats? Have you ever had?
No, I've got cats. Cats have crossed my path. Cats have sat on my bed, and cats have done all sort of things. I've walked under ladders and the likes. Superstition is superstition. Superstition is not substantiated, and it's just junk. It's it's what is popular. People say it, but it's not proven. Interesting one. Now we are talking about the type of superstitions. 13, the number 13. I wonder how you have seen it manifest the issue of superstition. Uh, this last holiday that I went to, they had 15 rooms. When I say 15 rooms, it was 1, 2, 3, up to 15. So I thought they had 15 rooms, only to notice that now they've got 14 because they omitted 13. So yeah, Dorcas, let's hear from you.
Okay, I have a very long list, but I will not mention the ones that we have already looked into. So, as you said, Bolelang, religion is a form of superstition. But
Dorcas, we are
specific
losing you.
religious beliefs. Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you
please
hear
start
me?
again.
Okay. So I was saying that religion is a form of superstitious belief. And we have prophecies. When people believe in a prophecy that some man of God told you that you will have 3 children, you will, I don't know, you will get money will come your way. You know, there are all these prophecies. Most of them are general. What Amanda was saying, most of them tend to be so general and so likely to happen. Of course, somebody will have children. If they're married and they're within childbearing age, they'll have children. And many of them tend to avoid something so specific like a number 3. You know, they'll just tell you you'll have many children, or somebody will send money your way. Of course, people will send money your way. Otherwise, how are you going to survive? Yeah, so prophecies, prayers, believe in the Antichrist. That number 666 in religious circles, in Christian circles, tends to be stigmatized a lot, and they keep hunting for its meaning. Even I remember the drink Monster. Its symbol used to be turned upside down, and the Christians would say, "Oh, that is the symbol for the Antichrist." Yeah, or some of them, it can be signs that pertain to their God. For instance, the LA fires, you remember? Somebody said, "Oh, it is the non believers that caused the LA fires because they spoke ill of God." And then shortly after, the place was burned down. So that is a superstitious belief that is based on religion. Higher. Secondly, is astrology. Yes, I know we mentioned it. Astrology and horoscopes. I come across it a lot in the dating world, and especially women. Women, we tend to believe in horoscopes a lot. So you can find that someone will refuse to marry or to date you if you're a Sagittarius or if you are a Leo, because they are a Capricorn and they believe that Capricorns are maybe fast-tempered, or they'll stereotype you based on your star sign, and that's superstition. It's
No,
an
we are not
irrational.
hot-tempered. We are not hot-tempered.
We are not so tempered. Oh, you're also a Capricorn. Yeah. So people these people who believe in astrology so much, then they go to it for advice on their careers, on financial decisions. They go to it for friendships, whether they'll reconnect with a friend or not. They look for advice from those horoscopes, and it's really rational. As Bolelang said, if you just read for another month, it would just be the same story. So, and it's very general. It's very general. It can apply to anyone. Even you can write a horoscope right now for a particular star sign. Another one is witchcraft. Here in Kenya, we really have a problem with that, especially certain communities. The Akamba and the Kisii are notorious. Even the coast, they're notorious for witchcraft, where they tell you if you have a lost or stolen item, they will send bees to the person, and the bees are going to sting the person, and the person will get back. The person will give back your items. But as we've proven, bee behavior, colony behavior can be manipulated. So that is actually a scheme and a scam. We have the ones who talk about kulinda boma, protecting your husband from side chicks. There's kukalia chapati, where you sit on a chapati and your husband will be faithful to you forever. He'll never cheat on you. Then there is there is the hair and nails. There are people who believe someone will bewitch you if you leave your hair at the salon. So they're very careful whenever they go and get a haircut, because they think, yeah, someone is going to do black magic on them. Also, we have the cases of unexplained sicknesses where someone says, we tried everything. We went to the doctor and the doctors couldn't find anything, but this person was very sick. They were so sick, but the doctors didn't know what it was. So it must be that they were bewitched. They just jumped to that conclusion that it is witchcraft. Another one is the law of attraction and manifestation. My friends really bother me with that one. They really think that they can manipulate their world based on their thoughts. So they say, me this year I'm going to be rich. Yeah, I'm going to attract wealth. That's a superstitious belief. You don't have such powers. There's something you can only do what you can within your own ability, but at the end of the day, you don't control what happens out there. Finally, I think there's also, not finally, second, finally, there are signs. There are people who look around for signs. Like if there's a long string of misfortune or a long string of good luck, it can be a sign. It can be a sign from the forces, the unseen forces. So, like, take the example of what happened to me. There was a time I was robbed in quick succession. Like in 3 months, I was robbed twice, and I lost. I lost really good phones in the process, and I lost money. So, a superstitious person would say that this is a sign there's a bad omen. There's a bad omen in your life that is causing all this bad luck.
That's not normal. Something must have happened. That's not normal.
Yes, something happened. I'll tell you what it was. It was me making bad decisions. Very rational. I introspected and realized I was taking stupid risks and I was exposing myself to these people. It could also be that the neighborhood I was in had a high crime rate because there was a time I used to live inside Kasarani Santon. There was also another lady. She had a string of deaths. Her exes, 3 exes of hers died. Right, 3 exes of hers died, and it was in Nigeria. You know how Nigerians really believe in this stuff. They're very superstitious. They were accusing her of witchcraft. But what I think, yes, this raises an alarm. There's some things anyway. It might not really be a coincidence. It could be that perhaps there's someone, maybe there's an angry ex of hers that goes and hunts her next partners, and takes their lives. Maybe he's a bitter person. That is the more rational explanation, instead of people saying that she's bewitching them and that's why they're dying. Or even women who miscarry a lot. There are women, I heard of a lady who had 9 miscarriages. 9 miscarriages. And they were saying, it is because she's cursed. No, it's probably a problem with her reproductive system. That's probably what is happening. But if you're superstitious, you will interpret that sign as a supernatural thing, right? Now, lastly, is that one of lucky numbers, places, people, and animals. What Morioki was talking about, the black cat, lies, the all and death, lies. Number 13, lies. Genders. My mom used to have this one. My mom used to believe that if you meet a person of the opposite gender as the first interaction when you leave your house, you'll have good luck. But if you're a woman and you meet a woman or a girl as the first person when you're leaving your house, your things will not go well. You will fail. Everything you do out there will fail. That's what my mom used to do.
That's a bad one, that one.
Imagine. So in order to bend nature, in order to twist her luck, she used to send out my brother so that he can meet her and give her good luck. He can meet her as the first person when she leaves the house.
Are you saying married people always have good luck because the first person they meet is their spouse?
Is their spouse? No, when you're leaving the house. When you're leaving the house, it's not your partner. You meet other people. You probably meet your neighbors. Then in football,
but you just tell you, say, go, honey, go outside. I'm coming. Then goes outside.
Exactly. Yes, you could do that. But what the reason why it's irrational is because there were many instances when my mother would send out my brother to break that bad luck and bring her good luck, but her things wouldn't go well. And there were also many times when she would meet females and her things would go well. So it was neither here nor there. It was just a waste of time. Footballers are known for superstitious rituals. There's this tennis player. He actually used to get in trouble with the umpires because he used to do so many rituals before the match. I don't know, he would turn around. I don't know if he would spit. The others who have lucky socks, they would do so many things in order to bend reality, to bend luck in their favor. We also have albinos. Albinos and virgin girls have been known to give you good luck. Some people take it up a notch and they take a body part from the albinos, or they sleep with virgin girls in order to have good luck. In Uganda, this is very prevalent, where you are told if you sacrifice a cow or a goat, it will increase the likelihood that your construction will be completed or your project or your business will be successful. But if you get a child and sacrifice a child, that will be almost 100% guaranteed. So imagine they're killing kids in the name of luck, in the name of superstition that they want that. Albinos have been struggling in Tanzania. Yeah, they've been kidnapped, they've been sacrificed because they're thought to bring good luck. So this is the insidious and harmful side of superstition, but of course we'll get into that. I know I've spoken for long. Let me stop there and hear what the rest have to say. Thank you.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of these superstitions. In fact, I think we cannot even exhaust the list of all the things that people are superstitious about. But all of them, there's one thing common about them. They make you live your life not using your agency. Now you are dealing with other things that are just sitting in your imagination and are not real. Hey, another person that I see, is that a Jehovah's Witnesses or what, JW? Or is it the initials of a person?
It's Juliana.
Oh, okay.
GW, those are my initials. Juliana.
Okay. I've been
It's,
asking.
it's so JW, he's across the ocean. It's beyond the borders.
Okay. Who was next? It was Miruki who was next, eh? Then El Maestro.
Okay. Let me ask the question. I can ask the
No,
question.
I saw your hand up.
Yeah, I want to ask
Oh,
a
you're
question.
asking a question. Okay.
Yeah, I want to direct it to Dorcas, Maurice, Deve, and El Maestro. So when atheists celebrate Christmas and Easter, are they encouraging superstition? I repeat, when atheists celebrate Christmas and Easter, are they encouraging superstition? Thanks.
Celebrating eating food or what?
No, when atheists partake in Easter and Christmas festivity, are they encouraging superstition? Because those are all based on superstition. Easter is superstition, so is Christmas. So when atheists partake in this celebration, are they encouraging superstition? Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. When people come, they will be answering the question. Let's go to El Maestro.
Muruki. We celebrate Christmas just for the same reasons Christians celebrate Valentine's Day. That has nothing to do with the Bible. When we celebrate Christmas, we don't go to church. We don't go to say thank you. No, we just spoil ourselves. We have fun, and I don't think there is in any way are we encouraging superstitious beliefs. We are just celebrating it for a different reason because it's a holiday. For me, I won't add much on that. For me, I wanted to add some
And Maestro,
superstition.
based on what? A holiday based on what?
It's a
What's the
holiday.
holiday based on what?
Santa, based on Santa Claus.
And Jesus too. And Jesus.
No, Santa
Also
Claus.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Based on Santa Claus, and also Christmas. Remember, it was originally a pagan holiday. Remember that.
Not
Let me
now.
add
That's
on.
Jesus Christ's birthday. It's Christ's birthday.
It's Christ's birthday, but it's also a pagan holiday. It is also the birthday of the most important person in the world of science, Isaac Newton. For me, I celebrate Christmas because of Isaac Newton.
El Maestro.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're lying. You're lying.
No, I'm not lying. Even on Christmas Day, I always
El
post
Maestro.
the date is up. Yes, Morris. Is is there someone who is? Oh, let me add on this. It is about these superstitious beliefs. Let me start from our count our my home county, or my home background, where in Western Kenya, where there used to be this superstitious belief that, I don't know, if someone gives birth to twins, you are cursed. If you give birth to twins, you are cursed. So they had to, some of them, the mothers, they get into their head until and they unfortunately they kill one of their sons or daughters.
Yeah.
I think
Even
it
in
has
the
been like that
in the
for a
east
long
of
time.
South Africa, it was like that.
Yeah, I think it's been that. It was like that in Africa for a long time, until maybe, or maybe, I don't know if it is the Europeans who changed. Okay, there are some of the cultures that are so retrogressive about our African traditional religions, that maybe colonizers maybe uh, made us stop doing. But all in all, they brought us something worse. They brought us something worse, but they ended some very retrogressive cultures. There's also
Yeah, I
this
think it's
culture of,
the court system. Killing a child,
yes,
you must be taken to court. In fact, I don't even
then,
think it has anything to do with the Western culture. It's just to be accountable for what you have done. Why did you kill that child?
yeah, and
Mm.
also, I in Uganda, I also hear there's this superstitious. Okay, I don't know if it is related to the. It's not even related to the Bible, because I don't know, they some of them, they bury. I don't know if someone who is rich dies, they bury him with some of his money and his, I don't know, wine, because I don't know, he will need it in his next life, which is, I'm wondering, what kind of superstitious thinking is this, that
Yeah,
you
it's a
bury
waste of
someone with
money.
money. By the way, it happened. There's a famous Ugandan who, he used to date Zari Hassan before Zari left to and went to Diamond. I don't know, I've forgotten it, but he's a famous Ugandan. When he died, he was buried with his money, and with his, because he was a rich guy. He was buried with his money and whiskey and wine. I don't know if people say he will need it in his afterlife. I was like, oh, this is just a waste. That money, take it to people who need it. That is a waste of money. But I had some people went and dug and took that money. I'm not sure if it happened, but what I'm sure it happened is that he was buried with his money and with his
Yeah.
whiskey. I don't know, wine and what. So those are some of the special beliefs. I wonder where they come from. And okay, not only here in Africa, but even in Europe, they believe in curses. By the way, because an example. I know you people, you don't follow football, but there is this Portuguese club called Benfica. This club in
the name we know and the club we have seen.
Yeah, it is from Portugal. So this club, they won the Champions League in 1961 and 1962. And after they won this cup in 1962, they fired their manager. The manager didn't understand why he was fired. So he said, Benfica is cursed and you'll not win any European Cup for the next 100 years. And until now, they have not won. They have not won it. Right now, it is in 2025. They have not won that cup ever since that manager said, Benfica, you are cursed and you'll never win this European Cup for the next 100 years. So since 1962 until now, how
Why
many years?
Why does the word Benfica sound so Manu?
No, it is from Portugal, not in England. So, and actually, some people, the Benfica fans, they believe the club is cursed. They've gone to the final of a European Cup 3 times since that time, and they lost all 3 finals. Not actually 3, but 4. They've lost all 4 finals. So they still believe this club, it was cursed until
has been to the final and lost like more than 2 times.
We don't know. Maybe Arsenal is also cursed. We don't know. Okay, that's
all these things they depend on a whole lot of other parameters. Because some of the things, if you are a parent and you say to your child, I'm cursing you because you don't listen to me. That statement on its own has a psychological effect on the mind of a child. And if they consider themselves cursed, they are going to see a lot of problems and give reason to them. Okay, it's because of my father's curse. But depending on the type of a person. So yeah, some of the things it's reinforced by the beliefs also. Okay. Yes.
Hello?
Yes,
You've
I
said
can hear
something
you.
you've said something very profound. When I don't think superstition work, but when you consider yourself cursed, it's a whole different ballgame, eh? Because now you have what? You have a good excuse for failure.
Yeah.
And it tend of to explain things like, how do I put it? It tend of to, I don't know how to put it, but it's in such a way that you feel like you can explain now why you've not done things. Like if you fail in anything, if you're in Africa, most likely you're not going to succeed to your dreams based on probability, based on the number of people in Africa and the percentage of African who actually achieve their dreams. They're less than 10%. Rather than when in Europe, especially Western Europe, where almost 50% of people achieve their dreams. So makes sense that the dad said, oh, all of you are going to become a failure. And 3 of you become not failure per se, but they have an average job and average income. And of course, your goal in life is never to become an average earner. Your goal is not to become an average factory worker. So your goal is to become the manager of the factory. So even if you're there with an average above minimum wage, which other people dream of, but it's still average, you're like, oh, we are cursed. Why even work for? And that is normally makes you settle into an average, like, oh, I'm cursed. I can't go beyond this one.
Yeah.
And what is my question? Bulalang, Maurice didn't answer my question. Maurice, the question.
What about Christmas?
Yes, he didn't answer. I want Maurice to answer that. He's been superstitious during Christmas. He's been superstitious.
You're breaking. Is it for me? Sorry, repeat your question, Morioki.
When you celebrate Christmas and Easter, you're also being superstitious.
What's a superstition?
You're partaking in an activity that's based on superstition, and you're joining them. You're part of the festivity. You're part of the festivities.
Yeah. So, Morioki, the two things you have to understand. I hope I'm audible. I will proceed.
Yeah.
There are two things
Yes,
you have to
are
understand.
audible.
Yeah, there's culture and there's superstition. So, Morioki, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Let me ask you a question. Kikuyu.
Yes.
From which one of the 9 clans do you belong to? Are you a Mojikenda? Are you a Moi?
I don't know. I don't know.
Which one do you identify with? Otherwise, you're not a true Kikuyu.
I'm a Bontown. I'm a Bontown.
Okay. Yo mtego umeruka. So we move on. We move on. But this is the point. You have to understand between culture and superstitions. Both of them are equally fictional. But one of them try to dictate life. The other one try to recommend, to make like sort of recommendations. So when it comes to like, if you believe you're cast, then it will dictate how you behave. If you believe the Lord, like how do I put it? If you have a superstition, it takes control of your life completely. But if you have a culture that, no, we Kikuyu eat healthy food, we, this tribe, eat this kind of food because they have this. Most cultures are not as dictative. Most cultures are actually poisonous. I will not defend them. But they are not as, they are much more defensible. It's easier to defend a culture than to defend a superstitions. Because you find if most people in Africa, specifically saying, if you point out that a culture has some harmful effect, they will either defend it by saying, oh, that harmful effect is not an actual effect. But once it's open that that food is poisonous, nobody will defend it that it's our culture. Once you defend it that this practice is poisonous, and that is why the biggest struggle against FGM culture in Africa is not that FGM is bad. It has been like, oh, FGM might be bad, but it has, they say it controls, it helps, because these people are what do you call male dominance? Not, yeah, they're chauvinists. Like, it helps keeps our women in control. It's a very ridiculous idea to hear from a human being with any, even 2 brain cells. But you have to realize that these people talk from their position of culture, where they think in their own stupid imagination that they're doing the best for the society. They think that FGM would make a society better than they think it is. It is a stupid, arrogant idea. If I had a gun, I'd shoot someone saying that. But theoretically, those people in there might think they're making society better, as opposed to someone who think they have superstitions and that they will think our neighbor is the one that is trying to kill the whole society. Very neutral basis. So you are confusing culture versus superstition. Of course, most superstitions are based on culture and vice versa. But when you say that we are defending Jesus, there's a Christian culture. The actually most modern Christian who are like, maybe God existed, maybe Jesus exists or not, but they still want to follow him as a historical figure. So your point for there, it doesn't mean necessarily that we are defending Christmas. Christmas is a good thing as a cultural event, not a superstition event, to be simple.
But it's based
Yeah.
on superstition, Maurice. It's based on superstition. It's based on a superstition.
But okay, let me ask you a question. What's the difference between superstition and culture to you?
Culture
How
is
do you
something that
think it?
culture is more realistic because it's things you do. It's things you do like FGM, things that you do. But
Exactly.
a superstition is just, it's a belief, like a belief in Jesus Christ. That's just superstition. There's a big difference between culture and superstition.
Yeah.
But a belief drives you to do something also.
Exactly. So Moroki, you're 100% correct. One is a belief. The other one is also a belief, but it's more realistic. People do. It's not just a belief. It's a belief that people practice daily. Like a belief, like a superstition, is the belief that Jesus resurrected from death. That's of course a superstition. It will never become a culture because nobody would ever resurrect anybody. There's no time to be like, oh,
Maurice, then why celebrate Easter as an atheist? Why celebrate Easter?
Relax,
Hot
let me
cross
tell you.
buns, hot cross buns and Easter eggs, chocolate.
Well, Moroki would be happy if the chocolates were vegan. But this is the point. I celebrate Christmas, not the superstition part of it, but the cultural point of it. There are
Which cultural
things
part?
people do out of superstitions. Like, I'll take an example of Christmas. Christmas, I've told you, I don't think Jesus rose from the dead. But people over time have created a culture over that. The culture is not even about resurrection. Remember, Christmas is not even about the birth of Jesus Christ. People meet a country, they slaughter a goat, they slaughter food, they bring the relatives they have not seen for the whole year. Those are cultural events. As much as they are based on Christmas, the cultural event of family get together. They come together, they slaughter, they do. All those are cultural events based on Christmas. Though most of those people still don't believe literally Jesus died or from the dead, resurrected from the dead, or if it's Christmas, they don't believe Jesus was born of virgin. That is the difference. The cultural aspect of it makes sense. The superstition part of it is ridiculous. So you don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. You pick the cultural aspect. I think families, whether they're African or not, should meet once in a year because everybody is very busy. But at least once a year, I know most of my cousins because of those family meetings, which happens once in a year. May not be Christmas, be August. But
we must meet and fight.
Create your own Maurice. Create your own holiday. Create your own holiday, Maurice. Create your own.
Yeah.
Create a new one.
I feel also that we started late, and I wonder the next point, which was discussing the harms. I think we have touched it, the effects of superstitions. There's still a need to elaborate on the effects of this superstition?
I think we are good. I think we should be closing down. It's almost 3 here in Kenya. It's almost 2, yeah.
We started late because the quorum was not there. Yeah. My eyelids are telling me that you were supposed to be in bed. Okay. So yes, let us wrap up. Any points that? Oh, my microphone is gone. Sorry. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you myself. I don't know about the other.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Oh, good. No, that's my microphones was flat. Yes. Can we wrap up? Starting with Dorcas.
Yes, I agree with you, Bolelang, that we started late, so we have to finish. In fact, I have a walking marathon at 6:30 a.m., meaning I'm going to just have 2 hours of sleep. Thanks
You
to
are going
this.
to do sleepwalking.
I tell you, I'll be a zombie. I'll be a zombie through it all, but it's worth it. In the end, my body will thank me. So let me try and just mention the ones that we've not mentioned, because I think most of you have the crux of it. In terms of loss of money, you've talked about that, and Maurice gave the example of how it harms our health, Prophet Owor, and how that girl died. People get off scientifically backed medication because of superstitious thinking. So I will not get into those details. Let me talk about some other things that we might overlook. One of the effects of superstitious thinking is cults. It tends to form cults around astrology, around the law of attraction, manifestation, even witchcraft. You just get one person who you really believe in, and they control and manipulate you. That is always detrimental to society. Here in Kenya, we dealt with that last year, but once, 2022, when we had the Shakahola massacre. And it was because they believed in the prophet who said the world was going to end and they needed to take away their lives. It's like to assist God in ending the world. It's really terrible. So it tends to coincide. Superstitious thinking tends to coincide with cultic thinking. Then there's also the issue of death. It's very dangerous because of the rituals, like the ones I gave of the albinos or the virgins or the children, or the death of children, and also old people. A lot of old people have been losing their lives because of superstitious thinking. And of course, some scammers take advantage of this. If you want to confiscate an old person's property, an old widow's property, you just accuse her of witchcraft and people kill her. They do mob justice on her, which is terrible. Another thing is the problem of miscarriage of justice or false attribution. So, because of superstitious thinking, they don't understand the correlation between cause and effect. They attribute a good thing, a blessing, to the wrong entity. Take the example of Atheists in Kenya Society, AIK, the original society we were in. They started a project, a humanist project of assisting a lady in need. She was a single mother and she needed school fees. So they collected money from members of Atheists in Kenya Society, and they sent the money to the lady so that she can pay school fees for her son. And do you know what she said? Thank God. It is God who is faithful. Yet it's atheists who gave her the money. So it's false attribution. You don't give credit where credit is due. You give credit to some supernatural unseen forces when that is not the case. The same thing with the LA fires. When people were blaming the LA fires on atheists, they were saying it's because those people are unbelievers. You shall not mock God. God cannot be mocked. No, it's not mocking God that caused those fires. Yeah, it had a natural explanation. So there's that issue, and very often it even leads to the miscarriage of justice, where instead of dealing squarely with the person who has done something wrong, you say that they will deal with the maker on judgment day. There's that passivity that comes with it, and it's terrible. I also think in close association with that is victim blaming. Victim blaming. So if you have a string of misfortunes that happen to you, like that example of the lady who miscarried 9 times, people accuse her of either witchcraft or bringing the curses onto her, yet she's just a victim of her biology, right? So there's that issue. It causes diminished autonomy. I think instead of people working on skills and experience, which will increase the likelihood that they will do well in something, they instead focus on some supernatural entity that will come and rescue them. And it causes bad decisions, things like astrology, or even they believe in parental curses. You know, we Africans, we have that excessive reverence for our elders. So you are told you should always obey your elders, even when they are toxic, even when they are abusing you or they are doing terrible things to you, you are required to obey them. And that makes you engage in bad decisions, right? Or when you go to palm readers, seers, prophets, crystal seers, etc., they tell you, oh, you're going to run into good luck and you'll have money. So somebody will make decisions based on that prediction, and in the end, it doesn't come to pass. Yeah, so it makes us bad decision makers, and that is quite terrible to deal with. Lastly, it slows scientific progress because most of these ideas are unscientific, and they try to play down the effect of science, especially with the faith healing sector. So when we talk about homeopathy, crystals, or even prayer, faith healing in prayer in churches, I think that it tends to slow down scientific progress. They tell you the doctors gave me 6 weeks to live, but look at me after falling under the Lord's anointing and pastor laying hands on me. Look at me. 1 year later, I'm still alive. Hallelujah. Yet, it isn't the pastor's anointing that caused this person to stay alive. And that is just anecdotal evidence. There are many other people who are told they have 6 weeks, and indeed they had 6 weeks and they died. So they diminish trust in science. Let me leave it there. I've enjoyed the discussion, and I'm hoping that we will not add to the problem of superstitious thinking that will demand evidence for our beliefs, and that we will be critical in our approach to ideas. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorcas. We had a lot of hands, but I see they're all gone. So let's wrap up the evening or the morning. We actually on a Saturday. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you, Bolelang. El Maestro, I think you're the admin, right? Because there was a point where I left. So, yeah, you're the admin. You're the one who can end the meeting. El Maestro, can you hear me? Or have you fallen asleep?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm not falling asleep.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yes.
I guess it is
He's
you
being
can end the
he's
meeting.
superstitious. He's being superstitious.
Okay, good night.
Good night, guys. See you in the hangout or at
Good night.
Karen. Bye.